All right,
Hey,
Mr. DeMarcus Corley, thank you very much for coming on to the boxingbar.com and welcome.
thanks a lot. I appreciate it. Y'all having me on.
And let's go ahead and start with a little biography about you. First question I ask everybody, where were you born and raised?
Washington, D.C.
What was it like being raised out of there?
Great experience being raised in Washington, D.C. Tough neighborhood to grow up in. I grew up in Northeast Kenilworth. My brother was murdered and killed in Kenilworth. I was shot also.
Did you have a lot of street run-ins and whatnot?
No, not a lot of street running. Me and my friends, we played. We had fun together. Sometimes we fought each other. We all stayed at the boxing gym, so once we started boxing, we really stopped fighting each other and worked in the gym and took our frustration out on each other when we sparred each other.
What about your family or your household? Were you guys pretty tight as a family at home?
Yeah, it was tight. I had 3 brothers. One was murdered and killed, so it just left me and my other brother. And my mom, she worked to take care of us.
And what were you like in school? Did you get pretty good grades? Or
I got great grades. I finished school. Elementary school was fun. I played a lot. I got my work done as I needed. But as I got in high school and junior high school, I just started looking at things different. I wanted to be a model. So that's what made me take on fashion real heavy.
And you obviously had to be very fit to be in a profession like that. What did you do to get fit and toned up?
I does a lot of road work. I bike ride. I was on the swim team in high school. And I eat great. I mean, I don't turn down nothing but my collar. That's why I got the name Chop Chop, because I can eat a lot.
And how did you get into boxing, or how did you get into this crazy sport? It seemed like you had such a good life, and it seemed like you had a profession that you were going towards. How did boxing come into play?
At 10 years old, down at the rec center, just having fun with the kids, my friends and stuff, playing. And they had boxing at 7 o'clock in the afternoon. And boxing wasn't something I wanted to do, but what drove me and gave me the passion for being a boxer was if you win or lose, you would get a trophy or a medal. And fighting for a trophy or a medal, it just made me want it more because me, I was a little short guy. My nickname was Duck before it was Chop Chop. Everybody called me Duck. And I just wanted to compete. I don't like team sports, football, basketball, because when you lose, you can't blame it on nobody. And in football and basketball, they say, man, if you would have checked them, man, if you would have blocked that shot, if you would have D'd up, I ain't got time for that. I like one-on-one sports. You can't blame it on nobody but yourself.
Absolutely agree, and I think that's why boxing is the only sport I really watch because of that individualism. What was your amateur career when that was all over with?
I had 119 fights total. I won 99 out of 119.
Well, it's a pretty good record.
A great amateur career. I won the 1995 National Golden Gloves. Out of my whole team, I was the only one out of Washington, D.C. to win that year.
What made you leave the amateurs and go on to the pros?
1995, I took 2 years off. I lost to a young fighter from D.C. named Eric Gamble in the box-off, the Eastern box-off. I was close, and I thought they had an alternate, so Eric got hurt, so I fought in the box-off trials, and I fought Julian Wheeler. You may have heard of him. He fought Oscar.
Yeah, I remember him. He fought Oscar early on, yes.
Yeah, and when I lost to him, and I seen him fight Oscar, that opened my eyes right there. I said, you know what? I was one fight away from going to the Olympics. That was in 92. I didn't fight 93, 94. I didn't fight. I took 2 years off, 93, 94, came back 1995. I had 30 fights in that year. I won 30 out of 36 fights. 6 of them was by knockout.
And what did you think of that scoring, that amateur scoring and all that? Did you think a lot of that's like political, and is that the reason why you left and went on to become a pro?
No, I left because, it was a lot of politics in the amateurs. Like Fernando Vargas, who I lost to in the festival, Olympic festival, he was already favorite. They had him picked to go to the Olympics. It was a close fight. I thought he won, but the scoring, it wasn't fair. And then my style, it didn't meet up with the amateur style of boxing. Amateur is a more busy fighter, person who throws a lot of punches. He don't slip that much. He moves his head a little bit, but he's more offense than defense in amateurs back then. And my style of fighting, I'm a patient fighter. I like to take my time, place my shots. And I just want a person that will go out there and just throw a lot of punches and exert myself and get tired. So I didn't think the amateurs were for me no more. So I decided to turn pro in 1996 as of May 17th, just the other day, made my 16-year career.
Wow, and I'm in Oxnard, California, and you brought up Fernando Vargas, and that's this is where he's from. What was it like, that transition for your first pro debut? What was it like? What do you remember about your first pro fight, going into the ring and going through the curtain for that first night?
I mean, it was a great experience for me. I can remember it like it was yesterday because I fought at my high school, H.D. Woodson, the school I graduated from. I had my pro fight there. We fought a 4-rounder. I beat him easily. And then I liked the way I done it because I was able to take my time within them 4-minute, 3-minute rounds. I boxed him. I threw my combinations. I moved my head. And then we didn't have to wear headgear, so that was even more. And the gloves were smaller, so it was just more excitement for me. I was like, I like this. I like this.
And you went ahead and knocked out Aaron Smith in the first round. How did it feel like conquering that first quest?
It felt great. I mean, the 8-ounce gloves really felt good on my hand when you hit someone. It's like you really don't have gloves on because you train so many years fighting with big gloves and spawn with bigger gloves. It was just like, my hands are naked. I really can let my hands go.
And so you went on and you fought several fights. You had a lot of first and second round knockouts, let's say in the first 15 to 20 fights. What was it like on that first big step to go up and fight somebody like Ener Julio?
It was a great experience fighting him, my first 12-round fight. I was managed by Sugar Ray Leonard at the time. I knew it would be a tough fight because his height and his reach will play a factor leading into the whole fight. I was like, he's tall, he got long arms. I'm going to have to be the aggressive guy. I know normally I'm the boxer and the stick fighter, but fighting someone who's taller, arms are longer, now that makes me be the short guy, so I have to go into the aggressive mode. And first couple of rounds, we were just in and out fighting each other. But leading down the stretch, the 9th through the 12th round, I mean, Ray and J.D. Brown said, Chop, you got to pick it up if you want to win this fight. So I just ducked down and I just went to work. I mean, and Ener Julio was hitting me so hard one time with his right hand. I had cut on both eyes, matter of fact. I can feel his knuckles through the Reyes gloves that we fought in. That's how hard he was punching. When he would hit me in my eye, I was like, I feel this joker knuckles. Golly.
You went on, won that fight by decision, and you fight about 5 or 6 fights. Then you fought one of the first times I remember seeing you against Felix Flores, and I really thought Felix Flores was doing pretty good. I remember watching him. He was a pretty tough competitor. Then you take him out in the first round. What do you remember about that fight?
That fight it defines my moment in boxing right now because I took that fight on a 5-day notice. We got a phone call on Tuesday. I was in the gym. We had finished training. And I didn't have a vehicle at that time. My manager was Kirk Cashwell. We had separated from Sugar Ray Leonard. And it was Kirk Cashwell and Gary Lee. And he drove me home to my mom's house where I was staying. And his phone rang. And he answered the phone. And it was Vice President Dana Jameson from Don King Production, who we were promoted by at the time. She said, hey, Kirk, I got some good news for you. He said, hold on, Dana, let me put you on the speaker. And he said, I have Chop right here in front of me. She said, well, hey, Chop. She called me Fancy Pants. So I said, hey, Dana, how you doing? She said, I got some good news for you. Ener Julio has to go have eye surgery because he has cataracts. And we need you to fight Felix Flores for the title. And if you win, then you got to give Ener Julio a mandatory rematch after he get cleared. She said, I know it's on a short notice, but we just want to give you the opportunity if you would like to fight him. I said, yes, make it happen. 5-day notice.
Wow, and then knock out one round. Then you go on and fight Julio, then repeat your win, beat him by decision again. Then you fight one of the guys that I'm going to have on, hopefully in the next few days, is Randall Bailey. What do you remember about fighting Randall?
My good friend Randall. The first fight, we trained for Randall because, he has that lethal death right hand that he loved to throw.
Yeah, he does.
So we trained real good for Randall. The game plan was to box and move my head and turn Randall. As long as I didn't set in front of him, I was great. So we won a decision over Randall.
Then you go up and fight your next fight with Zab Judah. I mean, you're fighting all these guys consecutively that are pretty dangerous guys. What do you remember about fighting Zab Judah, a southpaw, like yourself? What did it feel like fighting?
It was a great experience fighting Zab. We became friends later on after the years that we had fought. The fight would have never happened if we didn't get into a scuffle in Philadelphia at the Bernard Hopkins and Robert Allen fight. That fight made it happen. So that's the past, but it was a great experience. I thought the fight would have been a split decision my way or a draw because if Zab would have never knocked me down, I don't think he would have got the decision.
Yeah, and it was a split decision. Obviously, one guy had it for you and a few had it for Zab. What does it feel like fighting a southpaw When you yourself is a southpaw, and most of the guys you probably spar with or fight with are probably conventional stance, does it feel easy to fight a southpaw, or is it harder?
It's different because it all depends on the southpaw that you're fighting. What type of style are they? Back then, in the 90s and early 2000s, you didn't have too many southpaw fights. You can count on your hand how many southpaws were out there. But now, all these young fighters, you have a lot of them. And fighting them now, they fight different than what they fought in 2000. They're more aggressive. They don't move their head like normal southpaws. They're like Pernell Whitaker. They're not slick fighters. They're just straightforward young fighters that are hungry.
After that fight, you don't mess around. You go up and fight the guy that's still considered to be the best fighter in the world, of course, Floyd Mayweather Jr. What did it feel like to fight, the guy that's considered the man right now? What was he like, and did he live up to the hype, in your opinion?
100%. He lived up to the hype. Fighting Floyd was a great experience for me. We trained for Floyd, and we knew for that fight, Floyd is not a strong 140-pounder. We knew we were stronger than Floyd. So the game plan was to get Floyd to exchange. And I was trained by Don Turner at that time. And he said, Chop, you're not going to beat this guy boxing him. He's going to box circles around you if you try to box him. And me, I'm not a boxer. I'm more of a slick banger. Come straight forward. So we knew boxing Floyd wasn't going to work. The game plan was to get him to exchange. So fight was great early in the round. 1, 2, 3 rounds. We had Floyd in the mix. He was exchanging with me. I heard him. Floyd knew he was in trouble, so he went to plan B. He's too strong for me. I'm a boxer. I know he can't outbox me. Can't nobody outbox me. That's his game plan, to box you to death.
A lot of people figure because Floyd doesn't knock a lot of people out and he wins by decision, he doesn't have pop to his punch. Do you think he had pop to his punch?
There's 2 ways you can put that. Can he punch now, or could he punch back then?
That's true. Different weight classes, too.
Yeah, back then, Floyd couldn't punch. Nothing he hit me with hurted me when he threw him. It was fast, though. He's fast. I mean, Floyd was throwing punches so fast at one point, I think it was like the 7th or the 8th round. The punches didn't hurt, but I was trying to block on one side when he had already shifted his weight and started throwing combinations on the other side. I took a knee just so he can stop punching because I couldn't block every punch he was throwing.
He has pretty good angles, and he catches you on a lot of angles there when he's fighting different people, and he can pretty much catch anybody off balance because he's so fast.
Yeah.
Then you go ahead and fight Darrell Tyson, and right after that you fight another big competitor who Floyd just fought, actually, Miguel Cotto. What do you remember about fighting Miguel Cotto? Was he a pretty strong puncher? Did he live up to the hype?
Cotto, he's a basic strong fighter. Our game plan to beat Cotto was to take him in the later rounds because we knew Cotto was a heavy guy. He had to lose a lot of weight to make 140. He was struggling to make weight. He barely made the 140 limit pound. The scale was wobbling as he got to 140. So the game plan, we said, look, he's struggling. Take him in the later rounds. He's going to get tired. You can beat him. You can knock him out. When I heard him, I should have jumped on him and finished him then. But that wasn't the game plan for that fight. I went back to boxing him. Then when he hit me on my hip bone, left hip bone, and I took a knee. As me going to take the knee, I slipped 4 more punches that he had through, and their punch land. In the process of me taking the knee, the referee stopped the fight. Bad decision on me. I should have never took the knee.
And after that, you fight so many other fights in between, and then you fight another guy that's considered to be a top guy still right now, Marcos Maidana, and you fought him in Argentina. During all these fights, it seemed like you didn't mind or you didn't care where you went. You didn't care if you went to the person's backyard and fought them. Obviously with Maidana, you even went to Argentina to fight him. What did it feel like there in Argentina fighting somebody like Maidana, who is a very big star over there?
It doesn't make a difference where you go fight the person. If he a star here, he a star there, don't make a difference. I mean, you just fight. It was a great fight. I mean, I thought the fight should have been a split decision my way, but they gave it to him his way because it was Golden Boy Promotions. That was Golden Boy Fighter. No excuse.
And you know what? I wish every boxer had that mentality. There's a lot of boxers that they won't fight outside their home turf or their home area where they're used to fighting. And I wish everybody thought like that. And
I don't like fighting at home.
Yeah, exactly. It seems like you fight everybody where they live at, and you don't mind doing it with no objections to it. Then you went ahead and fought Fachenko, who just lost to Juan Manuel Marquez, and then you even fight Lucas Matisse, who's considered a great fighter as well. What does it feel like going to all these different places? Mentally, are you that strong and confident within yourself to go ahead and fight these guys in their home turf?
Yes, I am that confident and strong, but I learned something going out of the country. I experienced terrible losses that I shouldn't have got. But if you don't knock them out, you're not going to get the decision. The Francisco fight, I won that fight. The Ruslan fight, I won that fight. I can't remember the other kid I fought over in Russia. I clearly beat him with a baseball bat, broke his nose, broke his cheekbone in his face. I won that fight. If you don't knock the person out outside the country, you ain't getting a decision.
That's very true. The same day that Mayweather, of course, fought Cotto, you yourself fought in Northern Ireland against Paul McCloskey. A lot of people praised you, and a lot of people pretty much you were the talk after that weekend. You know, of course, everybody expected Mayweather to have won and beat Cotto. A lot of people were throwing out props to you for winning your fight, and they were more impressed with that particular win. What did you think of that fight, and were you impressed yourself on your performance on that particular night in Northern Ireland, his home turf?
Going to Northern Ireland, it was a great experience for me. I've never been there. I mean, I would love to go back. Great country, a lot of historic over there. That fight was just my night. It was my night, not his night, because I was still fighting from my last fight, which was Gabriel Rassour. I didn't supposed to win that fight. And the fight before the Rassour fight was the Ruslan fight. So I was still fighting from December 5th when I fought over in Russia. I had a lot of anger inside me because I got them decisions. When I beat Ruslan, I didn't get my victory, and they took it from me because it was him, and they was building him.
So what's next for you? What's going to happen? Who are you going to take on? Who do you want? I mean, you have Juan Manuel Marquez, who's on the top five. You have Brandon Rios, who's a big name fighter, going up to your weight at 140. Who would you like to fight next?
Well, from the talks and everything, before I beat up Paul, it was Marquez said he was going to fight McCloskey. That was the talk. That was all over the internet. He's going to fight Marquez next. So I said, well, won't he fight the winner before the fight happened? Why don't Marquez fight the winner? Then, ringside, had it on a statement, Marquez said he will fight the winner. I said, I'll believe it when I see it. Because I ain't going over there to lose, and I'm going to knock him out. And I determined that I was going to knock him out, and I willing not bet money on that fight that I was going to knock Paul out. I knocked him out because I wasn't going to get the decision, and I'm looking in the magazine right now that they sent me from Ireland, the judge's scorecard. I was losing on all three scorecards. How is that possible? It was a fixed fight. If it go to decision, McCloskey will win, regardless of what Corley does to him.
Because they were trying to set up him and Marquez, you're trying to say.
Exactly. The fight was already set, July 14th, done date. I knocked him out. Where do that leave me still? Marquez and them still don't want to fight me. Why? Because I'm a threat. I'm dangerous. They looking to fight Zab Judah right now.
Who are you going to fight next? Is there talks or is there plans of someone or your next opponent as of now?
Today was my first day back in the gym. Normally, I'm in the gym within 7 days after I fight. I took a longer layoff than I normally. But today was my first day back. Hopefully, my promoter, who I'm promoted by now, is Lou DiBella. I have something within a date by June the 1st. I would need to hear a date by June the 1st so we can fight the end of June or early July. I mean, I'm still in shape. I'm not one of them fighters I got to take 8 weeks to go to training camp or 7 weeks to get in shape. I stay in shape. My walk-around weight is 142 pounds, and that's one of the reasons why I'm going to go down to 135, because I've been fighting this weight class right here for over 16 years. I mean, I stepped out of my weight class a couple of times. I seen that it was too much for me.
And you've ducked no one, and you've gone everywhere to fight anybody at any time. Good luck to you, whoever you choose to fight next, champ. I can't wait to have you back on. Hopefully you can come back on before your next fight.
I would love to. I mean, it is not who I choose to fight. The thing is who will accept to fight me, because I look at myself as one of the most serious fighters at 140 pounds. A lot of people are afraid to fight me.
And you are that. You are a threat. I mean, you don't care about anything except wanting to fight the best.
Exactly. They look at, he lost 19 fights out of his career. He lost his last 6 fights straight in a row before he won these last 2. Why should I fight him? I'm a former world champion. I'm a threat. I'm dangerous. That's why you should fight him if you want to fight the best. But you might lose to him. Don't fight him. He's dangerous.
And you are a threat to the promoters and all the other guys too. You are a threat to them to lose against somebody like you.
Yeah.
Well, thanks again, champ, and I hope you come on before your next fight, man.
Appreciate it. You have my number.
Cool. Thanks, Corley. Thank you very much. And you are Mr. Chop Chop, man, and you will chop the competition down.
I will chop them up.
Thanks, Marcus. Thank you very much, man.